Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 9th. Um, this coming Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, um, it's an exciting day. And even in the current situation, coronavirus, COVID 19, um, social distancing, now we hear that the public schools are closed all the way through the rest of this school year. Um, Face masks in public. Don't touch. Stay away. All of those things. And we still have this tremendous desire to get together. So we came up with the idea for doing communion together. So be sure, by the way, and if you have a desire to worship with us this Sunday here in Cresswell, or anywhere for that matter, since we're doing it live at 10 o'clock here on the West Coast, get communion together, because we're going to do that together. The whole idea of communion, community, the togetherness, the relationship is assumed to be part of the whole idea of the remembrance of what Jesus did for us. So it's not just a solemn, personal experience between myself and God, between you and God. No, it's about us and the community that we have, the communing together, so that together we lift our praises to God in this very special way by eating this little bit of unleavened bread, this cracker that represents to us the body that Jesus willingly allowed to have killed for us. And the grape juice represents the blood that Jesus willingly allowed to be shed, allowed to be poured out for us. And the thoughts of that are just overwhelming, but within that is the community. I've told you in the last few days about Kurt and Elena. Elena Sarashton is a dear friend from our church, came to our church actually because of her desire to put clothes on kids. And Caring for Cresswell Kids was born from her desire, along with Lacey Risdall and Christy Keating. The thought of caring for children, it just drove them to do it together, the three of them, and then to involve a lot of the rest of us. And so here at the Hub, we have a ministry now that is Caring for Cresswell Kids that's going on. But that began with Elena having this desire to help people. Now her husband, Kurt, is in ICU in the hospital with a very serious illness, and she can't be with him. But last night she called me, and she talked about, in the midst of her pain, in the midst of her struggles with Kurt and what is going on with him, and her concern and love for him and inability to be with him because of COVID-19. They won't even let her in the door. And because of this, she's been forced to stay at home, to stay away. And she called me last night and she said, I've had lots and lots of people calling me. I've had, when I'm working out in the yard just to do something with my time, she said, I have people that walk by, and instead of waving and going on and hurrying to the next thing, they stop and talk. And some of them talk as much as an hour. And she mentioned the community. She said, I love my neighborhood. I love the fact that people come by and talk, that people text me and ask me to go walk with them. She said, it just seems that in the midst of the tragedy of this pandemic, that actually it has served to slow people down, to let them commune with each other, to let them take the time to love each other in a deeper way. And so when we take communion together, it's not just a ritual. It's not just something to say we got it checked off of our box of things to do on Sunday with worship. No, it's about community. Community with each other and community with God. Please come by the hub if you can at all and get your kit that's got the bread in the top and the grape juice in the bottom, because we want to do that together this Sunday. No matter where you are, please get communion ready at your home so we can do it together in community. Today's reading is my favorite reading in the whole Bible, because in it, here in John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17, Jesus says so much without saying it all. It's a phenomenal reading that happened just before he was arrested, just before Friday happened. So let's read now from John chapter 13, starting in verse 1. Now before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already put into the heart of Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray him. And during supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, to wipe them with the towel that was tied around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You do not know now what I'm doing, but later you will understand." Jesus said to him, "You will never wash my feet." And Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "One who is bathed does not need to wash, except for the feet, but is entirely clean. And you are clean, though not all of you." For he knew who was to betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." After he had washed their feet, he put on his robe and had returned to the table. He said to them, "Do you know what I've done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you're right. For that's what I am. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example that you also should do as I have done to you. Very truly I tell you, servants are not greater than their master, nor are messengers greater than the one who sent them. If you know these things, you are blessed if you do them." I love this reading because in it, Jesus takes off his outer clothing. He takes off his godness. He comes to earth. He serves humans. He washes their feet. When he's done, he puts his coat back on, puts his godness back on. In this very small and simple experience that he had his immediate apostles go through with him, he actually shows us what he has done. He was God, and he took off the ability to be God, and he made himself a servant for us. And all he said that we need is to be washed with him. So this Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, when we commune together, we celebrate the fact that Jesus has washed us and we are his. Until tomorrow, thank you so much. God bless and have a good day.